Bud.
Thank you, Chairman. Bridge, great to see you. Congrats on your nomination. Great to see your family here as well. So if confirmed, your influence on the national defense strategy and planning guidance will shape the department for years to come. So in the past, I've highlighted through Section 908 of the 2025 NDAA the importance of special operations forces and the need for those strategic documents to better reflect how the unique size, structure, and posture of special operations forces enables them to both serve as a preventer of conflict and, if God forbid there is a conflict, an enabler of it. So how does SOF, or how do special operations forces fit into your vision for our national defense strategy?
Thank you very much, Senator Budd. I do think the Special Operations Forces play a very important role, not only in the prevention of conflict. Obviously, there's a lot of things they can do, building partner capacity, counterterrorism, and so forth. But also, God forbid, in the event of a major power war, SOF has multiple roles. It also is a way, apropos of the discussion with Senator King, to keep an eye on the ongoing terrorism threat. So I think SOF plays a very important role in our overall military posture.
Thank you for that. So how does irregular warfare fit into the strategy of denial in context of China or other adversaries?
Thanks, Senator. That's, as discussed in my responses to the advanced policy questions, that's something I have some sort of broad thoughts about the ability to, create dilemmas for China in the event of conflict or before conflict to deter it along, say, some of the secondary angles for China, as well as building partner capacity and the potential, again, God forbid, in the event of conflict to create difficulties and dilemmas for China directly in a military sense as well. So I think those are some of the areas. That's an area I'd want to dive deeper into to give you a more informed answer if confirmed.
In strategy of denial, I know that's come up a lot today, and thanks again for the copy. It was one of the first meetings I had in that early basement office in the Senate when you came and saw me a few years ago. But you talk about the importance of coalitions and maintaining a regional balance of power. So if a coalition is too small, it lacks influence. If it's too big, it may lack commitment from the members. So what does an optimal coalition look like to maintain the balance of power in the Indo-Pacific?
Well, thank you very much, Senator. You're very kind. And that's something, as you may recall, I discussed in my book a lot. I think we actually are in pretty good shape in terms of the formal security commitments. I mean, apropos of my discussion with Senator Cotton, I think, and the chairman as well. We have very strong alliances with Japan, right, South Korea, the Philippines. I think we have effectively a very strong security relationship with Taiwan. Of course, Australia is very strong. And then I think we have a very deepening and important relationship with India that's directly proximate. I think we also could build effectively on a partnership with Vietnam. Obviously, we have a long and kind of fraught history with Vietnam, but the Vietnamese, say what you will, they're committed to defending themselves, and they see, I think, the challenge from China. So I think those are some of the places where we can work. I think if we can kind of hold the line at that way, that's would be an effective model going forward. And then, of course, there are ways at the diplomatic level and political level to use mechanisms like the Quad to build on that. But from a defense point of view, I think the defense perimeter along the first island chain is the one that makes the most sense.
Thank you. So given China's coercive activities in the Indo-Pacific, do you see any states hedging, and what can we do to minimize those states' concern about the U.S. commitment to regional stability and security?
Well, I think that's a really important question. I think, in a sense, you see hedging behavior all the time. You see balancing behavior by countries, take Taiwan or Japan, for instance. Japan is, albeit far too slowly, increasing its defense level of effort. It needs to go a lot farther, a lot faster. But you also see some hedging behavior. You see, engagement with Beijing. And I think all of the countries are kind of, continually reevaluating. I think the most important thing that we can do is have credible, capable military forces that are in the right place at the right time, to my discussion with Senator Sullivan, to be able to defeat sustained and effective Chinese aggression against a country within our security perimeter.
So what are your thoughts on a NATO-like alliance in the Indo-Pacific?
I'm not theologically opposed to it, Senator, but I've been skeptical. I was in Korea earlier last year, and there's the trilateral with the United States, Japan, and Korea. I think that's encouraging in some ways, but if we look at South Korean political dynamics over the last 6 to 8 months, it's not clear that that's going to be enduring. And so I think there's a lot of spade work and political capital that's put into a multilateral organization, whereas I think something may be building up to have more multilateralization in the region, but not the huge ambition of an Asian NATO, especially because you've got Japan over here, India over here, Australia down here. Their circumstances are quite distinct.
Thank you very much, Chairman.
Thank you very much, Senator Budd. Senator Rosen.
Well, thank you, Chairman Wicker.